Magic Mike White Lightning gave us a performance of a lifetime in his first ever start as an NFL quarterback. He became the second quarterback since 1950 with over 400 passing yards in his first career start. He also had 3 touchdowns and completed over 82% of his passes. It was absolutely incredible to watch, and the legend of Mike White was born. And people were saying some outlandish stuff, but all for good reason, because we've never really seen anything like this before since the likes of Tom Brady, who was also a late round draft pick, but he never even had a performance like this early on starting. But he went on the following game to start against the Colts, where he got injured, but not before going 7 of 11 for 95 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. This gave him a QBR on the day of 91.1 and a passer rating of 121.4. But then Mike White made his first mistake on or off the field, and that is he made a quote saying, "If you ask me, I should have been the first overall pick." At first, I thought this was one of the NFL meme accounts that I follow that post funny stats or fake quotes, only to find out this was an actual Mike White quote. Now, I love the confidence in all this. You want your quarterback to have all the confidence in himself and think he's the best in the league. That's good for the team. But what this also does is paints a target on your back, and they should really be a mindset internally rather than going public with it, especially when you're on one of the worst teams in the league and you were drafted in 2018. And why that matters is because he said this right before his game against the Buffalo Bills, who also happen to have a pretty decent quarterback drafted in 2018 named Josh Allen. Whether intentional or not, do not potentially poke the bear of a Josh Allen-led team with a great defense and offense to back him up. I'm sure the Jets defense wasn't too thrilled that he had to deal with a pissed-off Bills offense, but we all know how this game went. It was an absolute massacre. Mike White got wiped off the field in a 0 touchdown, 4 interception performance. But today we're going to look over some Mike White film. We're going to look at the good, the bad, and try and explain both, and then answer the question, is he really a first overall pick? Is he a first rounder? Or was he properly rated and he just had a couple fluky games? Let's get into it. We are going to start with Mike White's famous game against the Bengals. They hit through over 400 yards, had his team chanting his name in the locker room, heck, everyone thinking he's the #1 overall pick, better than Zach Wilson, the next Tom Brady. As you look at these passes, this is going to be every single completion. It is not what you think. It's not these Mahomes super long bombs. Every single one of these is going to be super short. Barely any of them are over 10 yards. They're all going to be checkdowns, but that isn't what matters. What matters is that the Jets were 6 of 11 on third downs. They controlled the time of possession 36 minutes and 21 seconds to the Bengals 23 minutes and 39 seconds. He completed 82% of his passes. He kept drives going. He always made the right read. This is why this game was so spectacular, because he wasn't doing anything spectacular. He was just so consistent, and this is how you win games. Nobody's gonna look back on this film and be like, oh my gosh, like it wasn't even that impressive. People are gonna see the wins, they're gonna see the stats and be like, this is a great quarterback. And that's what the greats have been doing for so long. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady have been being so consistent, taking the checkdowns and just winning games and putting up these ridiculous numbers without doing anything way too crazy. I mean, look, we have a pass right there over 10 yards, kind of weird. We see a few tight window throws like that one, but literally that's not much. And I would compare this a lot to what Mac Jones has been doing. He's been super impressive, but he's beating teams with his mind rather than this ridiculous otherworldly arm talent. Now moving on to Mike White's infamous game against the Bills. This is one of his first of 4 interceptions, and this one was absolutely unexcusable. I have no idea what he was doing. This play is just fucking embarrassing. He's not throwing it to anyone. He misses a receiver, I think, for about a mile. This little one has no merit being thrown. The Bills scored on their opening possession. You just give them the ball right back. This is not what you want to do. This was his first boneheaded play of his entire NFL career. Now, this is going to be a second interception. If you look, it's 24-3 already. Look at the people open in the flats. In his first game, that would have been a dink and dunk. He would have gotten it. They would have gotten 3, 4, 5, maybe break a tackle, get the first down. He throws us into double coverage for no reason. He's clearly frustrated, not in his right mind. This is not the plays we saw Mike White making, and it's because he's desperately trying to get his team back into the game and trying to make the big play. But you just can't have that. That's not what great NFL quarterbacks do. And again, as we can see, the lead got even worse. This is his third interception. Look at the running back in the flats right now. He would have made that throw. Again, tries to force it downfield, tries to make a play. This is not what we saw. This is what we can't have, and he does it again. And as again, we're going to see it for a 4th time. I thought the 3rd time was the charm, but apparently the 4th time's a charm. He wanted to go for it. What even is this pass? That was terrible. Obviously, he has some stuff underneath. I get it's 3rd and 10. You're down 38-3. But, I mean, this is what you can't do. I mean, the great quarterbacks, they're going to steadily steadily build and build and build. Give your team confidence. Your team isn't going to have any confidence if you have 4 interceptions out there. They're going to think you're terrible. Just like the stats can be deceiving when you're dinking and dunking, getting 400 yards, this can be very deceiving when you're just trying to make a play for your team and you do this. They're going to think you're terrible and not trust you as much. You cannot have this. Now, if you're wondering, does Mike White have any real arm talent, or is he just going to dink and dunk and that's all he's good for? I'm going to show you 2 plays against his first NFL action. No, this is not his first start. His first start was against the Bengals, but this is when Zach Wilson got hurt in the game. So first he's going to get the snap, reverse out of the pocket. I want you to see when he throws this ball. So he's going to step back and release right now. Who do you think he's throwing it to, and where do you think it is? This shows the timing and the anticipation of how amazing this throw is, because this couldn't be placed any more perfectly. If you guessed who is going to, you might have guessed wrong. Look at where that ball is. That is only where his receiver can get it. That ball is perfect, and if we could go back to when he threw that ball and where the receiver was, now you can see how impressive this is. He is starting to throw it right now, and look at where it ends up. This throw is highly, highly, highly impressive. So this play right here is going to show his ability to throw on the run and kind of make a decision last second and still throw an accurate ball when his feet aren't set properly. So the middle receiver on the bottom of your screen is going to run a Q route, a whip route, a zag, whatever you want to call it. The inside receiver is going to run a wheel route, and he wants to throw this whip route because it's 3rd and short. He knows he needs the short yard, so he's going to roll out to his right, make the throw a little bit easier. But right here, he sees the wheel route opening up, and this is not prime. He could have had his feet set. He's going to throw it off his back foot and deliver an absolute strike, picking up the bigger gain. So yes, he can throw it down the field. And again, we see him what he wants to throw. At the last second, he adjusts, sees it open up, and still delivers a dime. Absolutely love this play. Now, after watching the film, we can really start to see where this is a very complicated question, because we saw his ability to be poised and not frazzled. And when he is all the way there, he can be as patient and calculated as any quarterback in the league. But we also saw him make some XFL 4-string quarterback boneheaded plays, but none of them were necessary. They were all playing outside of himself and trying to desperately get his team out of a hole. This game was much, much, much worse than I think it actually appeared. I don't think this is a guy that's going to go out and throw 4 picks very often. All the throws he made were very unnecessary, and I would love to see him have the same composure that he has when he has the lead or the game is at least close. So based off arm talent and ability, is he a 1st overall pick or 1st rounder? No. But neither was Drew Brees or Brady. Quarterback is mostly mental, and he showed me that he can at least stay composed for 4 quarters and complete control of a game when he's going against an actual number 1 overall pick in Joe Burrow. And another thing to add, there's also a ton of film study that goes into every single week in the NFL. The more film they get on Mike White, the less of an advantage he's going to have. If they realize he just wants to dink and dunk, there are some examples where you can actually push it down the field and capitalize in the red zone when the windows get smaller. In my eyes, he's going to be a perfect placeholder for that the Jets need, because in all honesty, if Zach Wilson can be a little bit more like Mike White and combine that with Zach's superior arm talent, I'm sure White Lightning is going to get another shot in the league, unless he absolutely pops off and just never gives the job back to Zach Wilson, which is also very possible. But it's also up to Mike White if he can keep his composure, not make these boneheaded plays. And he's not going to complete 82% of his passes all the time, but as long as he can be as efficient and just stay within himself and know what the defense is getting him, I think he can be very, very good. But let me know what you guys think. I gave you guys all the pros and cons to his game, but what do you think is more likely to happen? Do you think he can sustain a lot of the success we saw early on, or do you think the Bills game is kind of more sign of the times and what's going to happen? Let me know what you think. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think of Mike White and what other person you would like me to go over and do a film analysis on soon. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel. It means a lot. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. Love and appreciate y'all so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.